Welcome to S24 Rundown, a quick look at some top stories making rounds across Nigeria and around the world. Here is our news in brief. We begin on the home front, where the Nigerian military has recorded a breakthrough in the fight against banditry. Following intense coordinated joint operations across Katsina and Zamfara states, troops have successfully rescued several kidnapped victims from hidden forest enclaves. Defense headquarters confirmed that the tactical onslaught overran multiple camps, neutralized several bandits, and recovered high-caliber weapons. The rescued citizens are currently undergoing medical evaluation and trauma counseling before being reunited with their families. Shifting focus now to the political arena, tensions are rising rapidly as members of the opposition coalition have launched a first demand for the immediate resignation of President Bola Tinubu. Addressing a joint press conference, opposition leaders cited the nation's worsening economic hardship, inflation, and persistent internal security challenges as evidence of administrative failure. While the presidency has yet to issue a formal rebuttal, ruling party stakeholders have already dismissed the call as a malicious political distractions, urging Nigerians to remain patient with ongoing structural reforms. Now turning next to an international legal development with deep national significance. Former Nigerian Minister of Petroleum Resources Diezani Alison Madueke has been discharged and acquitted by a London court. Following a high-profile trial at the Southwark Crown Court, the jury cleared her of all 6 bribery and corruption charges after more than 46 hours of deliberation. Prosecutors have alleged that she accepted luxurious items and properties in exchange for oil contracts. However, the defense successfully argued her limited structural role in their approvals, leading to the non-guilty verdict and bringing a decade-long UK investigation to a dramatic close. Finally, on the global stage, business worlds are witnessing a significant rally following the announcement of a historic peace framework between the United States and Iran. Under the newly signed Memorandum of Understanding, both nations have declared an immediate termination of military operations, paving the way for the lifting of the U.S. naval blockade and the reopening of the strategic Strait of Hormuz. In response to this diplomatic breakthrough, oil futures have stabilized and stock indices worldwide have surged, reflecting fresh optimism for regional stability and global trade security. Now moving on to business news with Shukra Oni.
The Federation Account Allocation Committee, known as the FAAC, has distributed a record 2.3 trillion among the federal, state, and local government. The increase reflects stronger revenue inflows, especially from oil earnings, and it means more funds are available for salaries, infrastructure, and state-level development projects. Now, just think about that for a second. When government revenue rises like this, the impact eventually reaches roads, schools, and public services. From government spending, we move to Nigeria's external strength. The country's current account surplus has climbed to 4.98 billion in Q1 2026, driven mainly by strong crude oil exports. In simple terms, Nigeria is earning more foreign currency than it is spending abroad, and that is important because it supports the naira and helps stabilize the economy in foreign exchange markets. Now to policy shifts that affect everyday Nigerians. The federal government has ruled out new taxes on telecommunication service and petroleum products. This means no additional tax burden on cars, data, or fuel, although for now. And for many households already dealing with high cost of living, this decision brings a bit of breathing space. Moving now to global economy, India has recorded a sharp rise in foreign direct investment, up 16.7%, reaching a record of 94.5 billion in FY 2026. This growth reflects stronger investor confidence, especially in technology, manufacturing, and digital infrastructure. It also highlights a broader global trend. Capital is increasingly flowing into the fast-growing emerging markets. Nigeria is seeing stronger government revenue and improved external earnings while maintaining tax stability at home. And globally, investment flows continue to shift towards high-growth economies like India. And that's your business update for today. We'll be joining Hadiza and Abubakar as they dissect the dailies. Stay with us.
Welcome back. And now is time for our next segment, which is our newspaper review with Abubakar Turaki. Okay, Abubakar, how are you feeling? How are you today? The man who deceives fate. I always call you that. Hope you're doing well and you're ready for our headlines today.
Yeah, Hadiza, let's dissect and
all right, let's get right straight into it. And our first headline is coming from Vanguard front page, and it says only 55,000 doctors left to treat 220 million Nigerians. Abubakar, experts have raised concerns over the widening doctor-to-patient ratio and attributing the shortage largely to the migration of health professionals abroad in search of, let's say, greener pasture and better remuneration. Yeah? So what does this shortage mean for the healthcare delivery across Nigeria? Let's have a reaction on that first.
Well, thank you so much, Hadiza. This is not the first time we are analyzing this prevalent issue that is going on in this country. I attributed it to the lack of, I attributed it to the lack of patriotism among the medical experts. But when I went back and clearly study more and understand that that is the only way out for them, because I had a conversation with a colleague before I came in. I was just trying to hear her own reactions and from Nigerians' reaction. You can't just go and study for almost 78 years. And after that, if you come out as a medical practitioner, your remuneration is not something
to write home about.
The working condition is not something there. And your allowances, your workshop, the wages.
Think about the brain drain, the workload,
doctor, ratio of doctor to patient. These are the kind of things that they need to consider. And clearly, there is a kind of like an underground report that we had. If you go to America, most of those doctors that have been doing exceptionally great, most of them are Nigerians medical practitioners. So coming back to, we only have almost 55,000 doctors to treat 220 million citizens. It's possible, Hadiza, because you already know that now if something is wrong with you, the healthcare system have been monetized in the sense that if you want to treat malaria now, you need to spend not less than 60,000 if you needed to have a proper medical attention, ranging from test, from everything. You need to spend more than less than 50,000 naira, and they saw that they cannot cope. They also have family to feed. They also have relatives to do that, and the government have been clearly enough, and they said that from the body language, even though they didn't say it orally or written, but from the body language, the negligence, the way they are neglecting certain things. Now, if you can at least go to a hospital, especially primary care health centers, before coming to the specialists and even the national hospitals that we have, if you go and see the working condition, you may likely cry.
The environment.
The environment. I saw some videos, I think in Zamfara, the way some victims of those insecurity, these are wallahi what I saw there, you will just cry and think that it's very, very disheartening. A patient receiving drip while the drip was just hung from a branch or a branch of a tree.
You are even talking about drips. In a hospital where it's supposed to be properly fumigated, you go to the hospitals and find them hustling for mosquito nets.
Of course, because somebody have accident, I think, along Abuja Kefi Jos Road axis. That was, I think, if I could remember, it was around 2 a.m. And what happened? Sorry, it wasn't around Abuja. It was, I think, in Maiduguri.
Okay.
Something happened. They went to treat that patient. Do you know what they said to them? They have to go and buy torchlight.
Can you imagine? So there is not that actually. They don't even have light in the facility.
They don't even have light in the facility. They have to buy torchlight.
Why even if we're talking about the state of the hospitals and the Nigerian healthcare system as a whole, the lists we should even be struggling for is anti-venom. And if you go to Nigerian hospitals right now, if you get bitten by a snake, they will tell you to go and bring that particular snake.
Of course, Khadija, thank you for reminding me. I came from Gombe State.
Yes.
And Gombe State, like from Gombe South, we have Kaltingo. Kaltingo is a place that is being dominated by snake. I think there's a specialist there, a health care facility that is being, they actually treat all these venomous issues there. Okay. If you go there, Hadiza, most of the anti-venom there, they are not even there. And even if people that want to supply them, we solemnly rely on international donors. These are the people that are bringing this thing to go and administer it there. And in this country, we saw recently what happened to the general. A general was actually a snake, based on narration, what they said. What happened to him? Assuming if you say that we have a medical health center that is very, very close to him, they could have rescued his life.
And that's another thing again. We rarely have healthcare centers around us. You might find, like, where I stay, you might just find one government hospital. Then you see multiple private hospitals. But can you afford to go to private hospitals?
Thank you so much. These are the kind of questions we need to ask ourselves, Adiza. Nowadays, people are actually battling on what they are going to eat. Let's talk. Exactly. Let's stop thinking that we are here in Abuja. At least we can afford a petrol in our car. We can do this thing. But go to the core states and see where things are happening. And that was actually where the resources have been extracted from. I stand to be corrected. What about federalism are we operating in this country? We are operating a feeding-bottom federalism, which is not even favoring most of the people. I know feeding-bottom federalism the terminology is a little bit big. Let me simplify it down. A feeding-bottom federalism is a type of federalism where resources are being extracted from the local and taken it to the central government. The central government will remit some certain amount of money to the local and the state government. If you remember, I recently saw that the FAC, Federation Allocation Account, this monthly joint account that is normally used to happen in Abuja before salary is being given to them. They have actually outlined, or they have disbursed, I think, 2.2 trillion or somewhere around. I didn't study the story in detail, but these are the kind of things that we should try and at least start practicing fiscal federalism, whereby the local government will have their own huge amount of their resources, let them extract their own natural resources and remit something to the central government. Because when I say central government here, I mean the federal government. Let the federal government deal with international diplomacy, the military, and some other things. Let the federal government at least use the resources they are extracting in order to manage all the affairs. Adiza, I can swear, if we can at least give the local government the necessary independence they deserve, by this time around, the problem of insecurity, malnutrition, banditry, out-of-school children, lack of patriotism will be addressed. We saw in the early 80s, 60s, and even 70s, and even 90s, when local government, even though we are not alive by them, but they have been there in the books. We saw the historical artifact that was there. A lot of things was told to us when local government were able to at least do certain things. A local government chairman then will at least be able to at least construct a bridge, a culvert, and even more. But now, I doubt it's only maybe some local government chairman from state like Kano, Lagos, and Port Harcourt that can be able to at least award contract. Now, these are our contemporary local government chairman. They will just only pay salary and just give some little project.
See,
that is fine.
One thing I've noticed about Nigerian politics in all levels, in all ramification, is most of them just want to answer the name politicians because of the benefit that comes with it. So, like,
unaccounted benefits.
Unaccounted, God bless you, unaccounted benefit. So, to round this up, what can be done to reverse this trend?
Yeah, the truth of the matter is the government should at least try and look at governance and politics.
But would they do that? Because the medical field or the medical world or the medical class has been calling for better nutrition, better work conditions.
They have been calling for that. You know, the problem is why they are not even injecting massive fund there is because they are not patronizing it. Our leaders love patronizing public office, but they detested patronizing public structure. We go to Wuse Market, they went to Dubai for shopping. We go to Wuse Hospital.
So what can change that mindset for them to invest at home?
We have to hold them accountable, and we have to continue calling them. And based on, let me also borrow from the two ministers, one the senior minister and one from the junior minister. Minister of Power, Tegbe, who said that we should pray for God to give us power, and also Minister of State for Defense, Matawal, he also stated that we should pray to God to give us security in this country.
I will keep telling you that we're not praying to God for anything. God said,
so Hadiza, what is the way out? We have been calling them.
They should do the needful. They should wear the shoe. It fits, so they should wear it.
Hadiza, let me tell you something. Changing the mindset of Nigerians politicians that are being, they are more or less, allegedly, they are toxic in nature. And they can do everything possible to see that they maintain their own status quo. So the only way out is for us to have a diplomatic way in sending them out. Which we are, part of things that we are doing now is promoting awareness. And who knows, maybe 2027 we may likely see the difference.
We pray and we hope so.
And you know, our religious leaders, our own traditional rulers also have their own role to play. Yesterday we analyzed what Sanusi Lamido said to people, that people should vote beyond ethnicity
and religion.
And these are the kind of wake-up calls that we need to be doing. But if to say that we are going to continue to put eyes on what Nigerians politicians are doing, there will be a time when, let me not pray for that time to come.
Let's move on to the next one, because like Nigeria. Moving on to our next headline, and it's coming from the front page of Daily Trust, and it says, fix insecurity or step aside, Rep tells Tinubu. I think it has gotten to the point that if they do not clamor for this, if they do not raise alarm for this kind of things, I think because they know it's already touching them, so definitely they now have to come out and
voice it out.
So let's have a reaction first.
Hadiza, question. Earlier this morning when I saw this headline, I even told myself that this statement is coming from the opposition. And when I went through the story, it was under one of the minority caucus opposition that spoke out that he's calling on the Nigerian president, he should fix the issue of insecurity or step out of the building. And this is just a political statement. I believe with the way this country from north, east, south, and west, the country is not even safe and the country is not even stable, Hadiza. I believe by now they could have shut down the National Assembly. What are they legislating? If the country is not safe, a Christian cannot go to his worship center and worship his Lord. A Muslim cannot go to the mosque or masjid to pray. A student cannot go to school and study. A farmer cannot go to farm and farm. A traveler cannot travel safely.
So what's the use?
Are you not part of the problem? Are they not part of the problem? We have a lot of evidence the way they have been going all around, all the money allocated, the funds, the budget allocated to the security and defense sector. They will just be going out collecting at least how many % of the funds? And here the minority, they are calling on the president to step down. Okay, they should step down and the president should resign, and they should also resign too, because they are part of the problem.
And this part of the country, do you think that will happen, no matter how much they call for?
They have the right to call the president into order.
Will the president heed to their call?
Well, let us eschew everything and play the governance and politics and play the rule of democracy. So, legislative arm of government is more powerful than the executive arm of government. Why is it that if a president wants to bring his annual budget, he have to come to them? If not just because of the robust term assembly that we have, this 10 assembly, who the president is that he should go to the Harlow chamber and they should start chanting on your mandate. Whose mandate?
Did you see the last video you were trying to say on your mandate? He was telling them to keep quiet.
Whose mandate?
Well, let me ask you this quickly.
I still have to acknowledge the fact that the 8th Assembly of Bukola Saraki, if you can ask me, this is not an S24 opinion, rather this is Abubakar opinion. The Bukola Saraki Assembly, that is the 8th Assembly, to me is the best assembly Nigeria has
so far
ever, because they actually held the executive accountable.
Exactly.
And so this is what we're expecting a true democratic National Assembly to be doing that.
Which leads me to my last question. I'm going to answer it in less than a minute. So can improved collaboration between the executive, legislative, and security agencies help stem the tide of insecurity in Nigeria?
Fantastically, yes. Because if the executive will at least bring things that will at least enhance the security situation of the country, I so much believe our 360 House of Representatives, 109 Senate will surely endorse it, and Nigeria will be safe, great, peaceful, and governable, and prosperous in the eyes of the world. So
at the end of the day, Yajo, we're just clamoring and calling for Nigeria should do better. Of course. Protect the one major thing they have to do in this life is protect your citizens. That is it. The only thing they are calling for. I doubt why is it that they are depriving us basic things. They are depriving us education, even though education is a weapon. If you are educated enough, those emasculation will not going to allow it. And they are also depriving us because according to Section 14 of the Constitution, the primary responsibility of the government is the protection of life, properties, and individuals, and the protection of lives of the individuals who are the citizens. Exactly. But are Nigeria's government protecting us? I leave you with this caution. Like you said, let's do better coming 2027. Well, that's a wrap on today's newspaper today. Newspaper review today. Up next is S24 Reports coming to you after the break. Don't go away. Imagine a small business owner in a local business. The conversation took center stage at the Bank Together with the Real Cashless Movement event, where industry leaders, entrepreneurs, and policymakers gathered to discuss the future of digital finance and financial inclusion. CEO Fatima Askira, a northern Nigerian entrepreneur and pioneer in digital banking innovation, says the initiative is designed to support small businesses while making digital payments faster and more efficient.
It's strategic for us to have me also lead the bank as a woman, given my experience with the development, the connection I have with grassroots, also the flexibility to learn and dive into something that's critical. So I would say I'm really motivated because I love starting up things. I always call myself a starter. I love startups. I love leading growth. And one of the areas also I would say I love making money as well. Make sure that you solve as OTEC? So for us at OTEC, we want to solve a lot of issues, but at the primary of it is failed transactions. As we said during our conversation today, it takes you days, weeks to recover, failed transactions. At OTEC, we're trying to let customers understand that this can happen instant, and we're doing it. Second is the headaches with POS payments where devices would need a charge. You just heard one of our panelists saying he went and saw the solar system charger for POS. So again, you have your POS on your phone, I would say, with the QR payment system. It's just for your customers to download the OTEC app, scan it, and make a payment to you. but for entrepreneurs as well. The hassle of creating an invoice and all typing it out to send it to a customer, we've made it easy for you. Just go in your app, input the inputs you want to make, put the money, just share a link to an OTEC user, and then once they click the link, they're making payments. So for us, it's making everything easy.
Participants also highlighted how the initiative could benefit grassroots communities by expanding access to digital financial services and creating opportunities for economic growth.
If we are not able to really see how we can push for digital literacy and even push for out-of-school girls and boys and everyone to get back to school, then we are creating a menace, right? Because this is very reliant on technology, and then people are not able to access technology. So it's a problem. However, I'm very happy to see what Fatima Sikira is doing, because this is revolutionary at best. There's a problem. We have a huge problem in our hands, and as a revolutionary woman that she's always been, she's here to solve it. And I am immensely proud. I'm so proud.
Number one is to serve the customer appropriately, and that requires a lot of resilience, offering the customer convenience, and of course some of the solutions they have offered, and as someone in the audience was asking for promo, it basically means that they already understand what are the incentives that's available for customers to not only go on the platform, but to continue to transact with the application that they have built. And partnership with the entire ecosystem. To me, that is a sign of young, but not afraid of the giants around. So that is basically a way to say, look, we are here, but we are not only here to be the next fintech entity, but to be a bit different from the run-of-the-mill companies that are around in the market.
So above what she's doing, which is amazing, I feel like it would inspire a lot of northern women to say, oh, if Fatima can do a bank, I could actually do the little business that I've been postponing or procrastinating, which is one. Two, with Northern Hibiscus, apart from Northern Hibiscus, I have a company called Falking Media, and we take businesses like OTEC or other businesses and amplify them in northern Nigeria. So from the grassroots all the way to, everywhere anyway. So we're here to partner with OTEC to blow their trumpets beyond just Abuja. We're taking it all over.
I'm quite excited to have seen them be part of this journey. I mean, you can imagine, it's not easy to be able to, in your first few days of transaction, you've done over $3 million. And I think that the story of OTEC is about trying to give the northern part of the country an access, an opportunity to better their life. I think, sometimes we in a payment system, we tend to get lost in our own design, in our own technology. Well, the story is not about technology alone. It's about giving opportunity, access to better human condition.
This is magnificent, I would say. The best thing today is seeing a woman head a corporation like this. This is something that we've been pushing, something that we've been hoping for, and Alhamdulillah is here today. I came out, this is the first time this year I came for a program, because I'm not supposed to do any program this year. I wanted to dig deep into my own companies and build things, but this is amazing, and we have to be here to support her morally, and equally support in probably investing or making sure that we are part of what she's building.
As stakeholders push for greater collaboration and innovation, the message remains clear. Building trust and simplifying transactions could be the key to accelerating Nigeria's cashless future.
Good afternoon and welcome back from that break. This is Political Arena on S24 television. As Nigeria head toward 2027 elections, many people are asking important questions about the state of our democracy in Nigeria. Are things getting worse, or is the system just going through a lot of turmoil? This afternoon, we will examine Nigeria's democracy. Is Nigeria's democracy under threat or under test? I am joined by my guest, Abdullahi Suleiman. Abdullahi, welcome to Political Arena.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Abdullahi, as a public analyst, in a simple term, do you think Nigeria's democracy is in danger, or it is just going through a lot of challenges?
Okay. Firstly, I must hit the nail on its head. Our democracy is not actually collapsing. I believe we are undergoing some structural challenges due to distrust in our electoral institutions and also the attitudes, or I would say the behaviors of our political leaders at the helms of affairs. So we are getting there, and it's not the end of democracy in Nigeria.
Okay, you made mention that our democracy is not collapsing. But a layman out there will say that in a country whereby it will be very difficult for Nigerians to go at least 1 week without experiencing a series of attacks on innocent Nigerians. And one of the attributes of a failed state, perhaps if I may see, is the absence and failure of the government to protect the rights and individual of the country. What can you say about that?
Okay. We must know that the first essence of every government is the protection of life and properties of the people. And in a situation where the lives and the properties of people are not protected, it simply means there is a failed government. But I believe that is not a collapse of democracy on its own. And that is why at every interval, at certain years, for Nigeria applicably after 4 years, there is need for everyone to go out to select, or rather elect leaders that they feel deem, fit to hold up to the required leadership and things that are required for the Nigerian people. So, the insensate attacks, insecurity are surely shortfalls and failures from our government.
So you so much have believed that democracy in Nigeria will see the light of the day?
Of course. We'll get there. It's not a day job, but I believe even with
trial and error?
Yes, the trial and error, we are going to get there. And with the upcoming, with things that occur these days, the differences in the political parties and issues that comes up when there is a new leadership, I believe one day we'll definitely get it right democratically in Nigeria.
Many people are talking about vote buying, and vote buying is becoming the talk of the day, especially when it's the election periods. In your opinion, what are the reasons behind this vote buying, and why are voters willing to sell their vote? Because we already know that you have your own franchise, the right to vote and be voted for.
This is a very complex matter. Vote buying is an issue that has been, has been in existence for a very long time. But I would simply tag it to 2 reasons. The first one will be economic reasons, and I'll say the other reason will be lack of trust. What do I mean by economic reasons? You see, poverty is the essence for accepting, vote buying. In a case whereby the people feel a kind of a disconnection to the government, they feel the only way they have a direct connection to the government is at a point or at a time where election process or electioneering is going on, and they are given a particular peanut or a penny to buy the vote. They believe that is the only thing they are able to get from the government. So you see, due to poverty. And when we talk about the area of trust, it's because they believe after that election, there is nothing the government can do for them. So they have no option. They believe it's either I'm taking this or I'm losing. I'm getting nothing at the end of the day. So poverty and lack of trust are issues around surrounding vote buying, and the reasons why these cases of vote buying still takes place in Nigeria.
As some people call Nigeria a dilapidated country, so you as a Nigerian, as a patriotic Nigerian, what are you doing in order to curb the issue of vote buying among young Nigerians, especially women and young girls?
Okay. The first thing from our own end, as people that work relentlessly to see the betterment of the Nigerian society, I believe awareness is key. All we need to do is to create awareness on the menace of vote buying. You can't sell 4 years of, of true leadership to vote buying. And at the end of the day, in the other way, it looks more like a political investment for our politicians, and where they feel like I bought votes for certain amounts and I need to get it back. So you see, that is a form of investment.
Now business, politics have now turned to a business.
Exactly, a political investment. So awareness is very, very important. When our people are aware that vote buying only solves not even up to a second of the issues facing Nigeria, then they would understand that vote buying is not something that should be given any consideration. And also, Nigerians must be very, very firm about their choices. You know, when we talk, we create awareness to curb vote buying. We will also have to create awareness on certain matters like ethnicity and religion. We must understand that when it comes to politics, politics knows no tribe, no religion.
Of course.
A Muslim, a Christian, being from the northern part, the southern part, the middle belt part of the Nigerian society, it has nothing to do with politics. Politics is a power, it's a people-centered style of leadership for the people, by the people,
Abraham Lincoln.
Exactly. So it's supposed to be people-centered. But in a case whereby the people lost faith in their leaders, they believe they can only resort to, maybe accepting vote buying and the others, which is not the way forward.
What can ordinary Nigerian do to improve election in Nigeria?
The first thing an ordinary Nigerian must do is that he must or she must stay away from accepting bribe or penny in the name of buying votes. That is the first thing. The second thing, Nigerians must follow up with their votes. What do I mean by follow-up? I'm not talking about violence. Follow-up should...
legally and democratic way to hold leaders accountable.
Exactly. That is it. So, holding our representatives, our leaders accountable is another key issue. And, it's too bad that sometimes people facing an issue at the local government level will always turn back to the federal level. So you see, there is lack of holding. Yes, there is a disconnection. People do not understand, this hierarchy in leadership. So it's important to know that holding our leaders accountable is our responsibility.
I believe there is concurrent list, residual list, and exclusive list.
Exactly. So we must hold them accountable. We must avoid vote buying. We must follow up our vote. And what I mean by this is, during the, in a typical election day, there is always holiday. And, some people that decide to disenfranchise or put themselves into apathy would believe it's a day to rest. But that is not enough. It's not enough to cast your vote. You need to wait till the process where the votes are counted.
Okay, before we call it a day,
yes.
Suleiman.
Yes.
Many Nigerians seem to lost hope in Nigeria's democracy.
Yes.
In your humble opinion, yes, are you optimistic with the way Nigerian democracy is moving?
Okay. I would say losing hope is not a good thing for Nigeria and Nigerians. Because I believe when there is life, there is hope. We only stop losing hope when we stop breathing, when we stop living. So there would be no need for us to stop losing hope in Nigeria. It's a time for us to unite. It's a time for us to work together to get Nigeria better.
Okay. What are your calls ahead of 2027 to young Nigerians?
Okay. We must get involved. Young Nigerians must get involved in the process of electioneering. Political apathy is not a solution and it's not a way forward. And it's too bad, it's unfortunate that many youths today consider engaging, consider social media engagement. Yes, more than the physical engagement or the realistic engagement in the process of politics. So I think we must get involved. Every society having youths know that the backbone of that society are the youths. And the youths are the future of the leaders of tomorrow. So how would it seem if we don't get involved? Many youths will decide that at the end of the day, if I vote, my vote does not count. So that day should be a resting day, but it's not the way forward. It will do us no good.
We have to draw the curtain of the show.
Yes.
Thank you so much for speaking to S24.
Thank you very much for having me here.
That is all we have on that is all we have on S24 Political Arena. Stay tuned for our S24 documentary and S24 report. Thank you.
My name is Dr. Halima Bello. I'm a consultant obstetrician gynecologist here in Gwarinpa General Hospital, FCT Abuja, and I'm a fistula surgeon. Vesicovaginal fistula, actually obstetrics, as the name goes, has to do with pregnancy and the journey of pregnancy. Most of the times it's due to prolonged labor. We call it prolonged obstructed labor, a labor that has gone on and on without a final delivery. You understand, and there's no intervention to get that baby out until probably baby dies, the woman suffers. For most of them, the histories is that they have had labor for 2 days, 3 days, yeah. Some of them 5 days, surprisingly, yes, as long as that. So they have labor for so long, they don't get delivered until probably the baby die in their wombs, and then after that, they develop the fistula. Some actually develop it, after the long stay of this labor. They go to hospitals, and probably before they are attended to or after they're being attended to, in the process, they get the fistula, yes. And then there are some that post-surgical complications such a situation can occur. Like we have all this series of patients on the ward at the moment that have had it from different causes. But the commonest cause is prolonged obstructed labor. The issue of vesicovaginal fistula, sincerely, is just prevention. If we can get that prevented, let it not even happen, then sincerely we are home and dry. But the problem is that it is not being prevented. How? Sometimes women don't go for antenatal. Even when they go for antenatal clinics, they don't end up delivering in the hospital. So you will see a large number attending antenatal, a few number coming to the hospital for delivery. Secondly, a few number coming to the hospital for delivery. Secondly, even if they're going to come to the hospital, they come to the hospital late. Sometimes the labor has gone on, the destruction has started, for whatever reason, probably sometimes finance. Most of them give us reasons that it's because of finances. They don't get money. They feel, people get afraid of coming to the hospital even before they are billed. They feel when they come to the hospital, they'll be billed. So, but they don't even come to know what it entails to get themselves out of that situation until when it has happened. So there's that fear of coming to the hospital. And then again, some of them feel that when they come to the hospital, they have to queue up, wait for so long, waiting time is so long that they can't, So people have many reasons anyway why they don't come to the hospital. But also the socioeconomic status too. Let's be realistic, poverty plays a very, very high role. Sometimes they don't even have the transportation to come to the hospital. Sometimes their roads are not accessible. Before a person gets himself or herself out of where she's living to the hospital, main hospital, it might take her hours. Once you are known to have fistula, you are so stigmatized that not just depression, psychosis, frank psychosis has happened to in some women, whereby they get depressed because they can't do anything with their lives. You are not sick, as people will say. You're not sick. Yes, you're not sick, but you're really sick inside because you can't just do anything like every other person does. You don't have a freedom to associate with people. You don't have, in fact, sometimes you don't even have the freedom to even sell in the market. That is how bad it is. People don't want to buy from you. So if people don't buy from you, how do you survive? Then when you go to places, you're being stigmatized. People don't want to stay around you. They feel you're smelling. So their lives, in fact, the quality of their lives is really bad. So some of them get into depression. Some of them, unfortunately, go into prostitution, destitutes, homeless, so many things. Some of them are even being treated as so-called outcasts, witches, so many things. And then it even prevents you, even if you're a working class lady, you have such a problem. It's even worse. You can't go to work. And every time you go to work, you're feeling so insecure that probably as I'm sitting, I'm wet or I'm smelling or this, and you don't have a quality of life until you're away. So it's really something that disturbs women a lot. VVF surgeries, VVF management is just a damage control, and it is more difficult to manage a damaged thing than to create a new thing. But there's joy in it, because once you do it and it works out fine, which most of the time we're lucky that it works out fine, you're happy, the patients are happy, and you're happy, and you will see you will see yourself that you have transformed a woman's life from what was previously a nothing or is destitute to somebody who is happy and living. We have a lot of ambassadors out there that are ready to come today and tell you about their ordeal and what they are today. So by doing these surgeries, we help to restore at least their dignities, because once you stop leaking, your dignity is restored in any way. Yes. So, and then we do have some NGOs, the governments, all forms of bodies that help in rehabilitating them and reintegrating them back into the society, because you don't just finish repairing and then the situation is still there. If you repair her and she still cannot go back to her community, or she still cannot be useful to herself, then there's still a problem. But when you repair her and that issue is settled, the next thing is that, okay, you have helped her in gaining her confidence. The next thing is that, what will she do? Yes, she needs to be rehabilitated, she needs to be reintegrated into society, and it becomes history. There might be some fields that there are new equipment in town, there are new personnel in town. Yeah, I know that. But for fistula, I'm not sure that we have gotten there yet. We sincerely need to do a lot more. Because if you see a patient with fistula, it tells us about our maternal mortality. So if our maternal mortality is actually improving, we have a good maternal mortality rate is improving, then I would say maybe fistula too. But what I don't understand now is that I still see new cases of fistula. And it baffles me that why are we having new cases? So something is wrong, fundamentally wrong. If we are still having new cases of I'm talking about new. In the past, we used to struggle with the issue of backlog because there were no specialists to repair them and clear them off. Now we have a lot of backlogs that have been taken care of, or are still being taken care of. But we are having new cases. Where are we having new cases? Younger ones, older ones, multiples, para and nulliparas. We're having so many cases of fistula. Why? So that will give the answer to whether there's an improvement. Yes, that will give an answer, because I see that even our younger doctors are even leaving the country. We that were in the fistula now, we are getting older, we are getting tired. The younger ones that keep coming, I can't point out 5 young doctors that are interested in fistula. Yes, I can point them out to you. They are not in it, because one is the field is a difficult field. You come, you walk, and these things are not finishing. They're just coming, and it's just damage keep coming, and then they leave. Who does it after? Who takes over afterwards? And anybody can fall a victim to this. So what happens if it happens? So I think it's something that we should take seriously in this country, so that we can do this thing. But what we need the most is prevention, because sincerely, if this thing is not prevented from there and it comes here we continue to do this thing. And this prevention is not about the health workers alone. The health workers should be involved. The government should be involved. The parents should be involved. The children should be involved. The pregnant women should be involved. The husbands should be involved. Everybody should be involved. I was surprised when I came into the system, came to the field, and I saw that there are really many of them living with it, many years. So I see that this fistula is there, and we should not neglect that aspect. We should take it very seriously, because every woman that is affected with this fistula, a whole family is affected. A whole family is affected. The whole family is affected. And the whole family is affected. And every woman that is happy in a family, you see that the whole family is happy. And every woman that is happy in a family, you see that the whole family is happy. So I just want the world to know that with good prevention, this will be history. It is history in other countries now. We see less of fistula, especially fistula, in many other countries. Why are we still having it here?
Nigeria's fight against insecurity continues on multiple fronts, with fresh operations, arrests and prosecutions making headlines. Welcome to Security Update on S24 Television. I am Gloria Atta, and here are the top security stories dominating headlines today. To begin with, troops of the 22nd Brigade Nigerian Army have recorded another breakthrough in Kwara State, arresting the wife of a notorious terror kingpin identified as Auta Ilori during an offensive operation in Edu local government area. The operation, carried out across Lafiaji, Mugbu and Ndeji axis, targeted criminal hideouts and armed groups operating in the area. Military sources say the suspect was intercepted alongside her 3 children while reportedly traveling to her husband's camp. Troops also arrested another suspect, his wife and 2 children, at a residence where she had allegedly spent the night. According to military sources, preliminary questioning revealed that the woman admitted knowing that her husband was involved in terrorism and kidnapping activities. All those arrested are currently in military custody as investigations continue. Meanwhile, in Ogun State, police operatives have foiled a suspected cult initiation ceremony in Isara Remo, arresting 30 suspects in a coordinated operation. The raid was conducted by operatives of the Violent Crime Response Unit, working with detectives from the Isara Area Command and Isara Division after receiving credible intelligence. Police say the suspects had gathered in an uncompleted building for activities linked to cult initiation, including chanting, alcohol consumption, and other rituals. During the operation, 4 vehicles allegedly abandoned by fleeing suspects were recovered, along with a jackknife, drums, rattles and bottles believed to have been used during the gathering. The Commissioner of Police in Ogun State, Bode Ojajuni, commended the officers involved while reiterating the command's commitment to intelligence-led policing, warning that cultism and other criminal activities would not be tolerated in any part of the state. And turning to Nigeria's correctional system, the federal government says more than 15,600 inmates were admitted into custodial centers across the country in May 2026 alone, underscoring the growing pressure on prison facilities. Interior Minister Olubunmi Tunji Ojo disclosed that while 14,190 inmates were released within the same period, admissions still outpaced releases. He noted that Nigeria's custodial centers currently hold about 80,000 inmates, well above their official capacity of 68,486. To address the challenge, the minister says 3 new custodial facilities are under construction and are expected to provide about 15,000 additional bed spaces when completed. And that's all we can take on our security update for today. Thanks for watching and bye for now.
Hello and welcome to Tech World Updates, where we discuss technology, innovation and digital world. I am Aisha Muhammad. Here's what's shaping ICT from Nigeria to the global stage. We begin in Nigeria, where the federal government is seeking to reassure businesses and consumers amid concerns about raising operating costs in the telecommunications sector. Authorities have made it clear that there are currently no plans to introduce new taxes on telecommunication services, while existing VAT waivers on the essential commodities remain in place. Officials say the move is aimed at protecting digital access, encouraging investment, and supporting continued growth of Nigeria's digital economy. Still in Nigeria, attention is also turning to the cost of telecommunication services. The Nigerian Communication Commission has engaged KPMG to review mobile transmission rates, the fees operators charge one another for connecting calls across network. While such reviews often raise concerns about possible tariff adjustments, telecom operators have assured subscribers that the ongoing study is not expected to result in higher consumer charges. Industry experts say the review is part of broader efforts to ensure fairness, efficiency, and sustainability within the sector. And from regulation to digital inclusion across the continent, the Airtel African Foundation has released its inaugural philanthropy report, highlighting a $6.2 million commitment towards education, digital access, and community development. Through its Feed strategy, the initiative has already connected more than 3,200 schools to the internet across 13 African countries. Development specialists say expanding connectivity remains one of the most effective ways to unlock opportunities for young people and strengthen Africa's digital future. And finally, to the global technology landscape. The rapid rise of artificial intelligence is now creating ripple effects across the semiconductor industry. Apple's Chief Executive Director, Tim Cook, has transforming software and services, but also reshaping the hardware that powers the digital world. And that is on Tech World Update, where innovation meets impact and the future stays in focus. Thanks for watching, but do stay with us, as after the break is Entertainment News Update with Khadija Muhammad. Thank you.
Hello, it's your entertainment update for today, where culture is loud, creativity is wild, and yes, even your favorite gossip might have a little truth in it. So, starting with the Nigerian film industry is mourning the loss of actor Alex Ikubo, whose remains arrived in his hometown of Arochukwu, Abia State, ahead of his final burial rites. Family, friends, and colleagues gathered for a wake-keep on Wednesday evening, with several Nollywood stars paying their last respects. The actor reportedly passed away on May 11th following a private battle with advanced metastatic kidney cancer. Alex Ikubo rose to become one of Nollywood's most recognizable faces, earning admiration for his performance, humanitarian work, and calm personality. May his soul rest in peace. And moving on, from remembering a Nollywood star whose impact lives on, to a music story showing how one act of kindness can change a career forever. The Nigerian rapper YC has credited Afrobeat superstar Wizkid for playing a key role in his early success. Speaking during a live session, YC revealed that before a trip to London, Wizkid personally contacted promoters Made and asked him to support the young artist. According to YC, the recommendation led to 4 show bookings in London, helping him gain valuable exposure as a crucial stage of his career. And finally, on Cultural Update, Lagos Street Theatre keeps culture alive through pop-up performance movements. Across Nigeria's entertainment landscape, a quiet but powerful shift is redefining how culture is experienced, moving beyond traditional venues into large-scale public celebration, festivals, and street-based entertainment formats. Lagos, cultural expression continues to thrive through events and blend music, fashion, dance, and heritage storytelling. And one of the most prominent examples is the annual Lagos Fanti Carnival, which draws thousands of participants and spectators to Lagos Island. The festival celebrates Afro-Brazilian heritage and Yoruba cultural identity through colorful parade, live music performance, and community-led procession across historic settlements such as Isele, Eko, and Lafiaji. And that's your entertainment update roundup for today. I am Khadija Muhammad. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay curious, and I will see you in the next bulletin. Coming up next is Sport News with Martha after the break.
What do you get when history is made? Fans, spark, controversy, and a dramatic late winner steals the show. It's another action-packed day at the FIFA World Cup. Welcome to your Sport Update. Here are some of the exciting stories making headlines today. First up, history has been made by DR Congo. The African nation earned its first ever World Cup point after holding Portugal to a 1-1 draw. Portugal took an early lead, but DR Congo fought back to secure a historic equalizer and secure a result that will be remembered for years. It was not only their first point at the tournament, but also a proud moment for a nation that's waited decades for a breakthrough on football's biggest stage. Next, we have England supporters found themselves in the spotlight for reasons away from football. Reports say fans were instructed to remove flags and banners from certain areas of the stadium during England's World Cup opener. According to officials, the decision was based on FIFA regulations which restrict the placement of flags on advertising boards and other stadium structures. While some fans were unhappy with the move, organizers insist the rules are in place for safety and operational reasons. And finally, Ghana left it very late but got the job done. The Black Stars secured a crucial 1-0 victory over Panama thanks to a dramatic stoppage time winner. Just when the match appeared destined to end in a draw, Ghana found the breakthrough and claimed all 3 points. The result gives the Black Stars an early boost in their quest to reach the knockout stages and set up an exciting clash in their next outing. And that's all for now on Sports Updates. Join us again for more stories, more drama, and more unforgettable moments in the world of sports. I am Martha Opala-Nedu. Thanks for watching.
Una do, oh my country people, how una body they do una this afternoon? Make we quick check wetin dey happen for inside security, politics and other matter. On top security, army people don't win another fight against bandits again. After serious joint operation for Katsina and Zamfara state, soldiers rescue several people where kidnappers been carried go hide for inside forest. Defense headquarters talk say troops attack plenty bandit camp. They kill some of the criminals and they bring back some of their weapons. They don't carry the people where they rescue go hospital. Make doctors check them and they go also follow them talk. Calm them down. This one night Oyibo they call counseling before they go later join their family members. And for inside politics, opposition party don't call make President Bola Ahmed Tinubu step down from the office sharp. They made the demand during one joint press conference. They say hardship for country, it don't too much. According to them, high inflation, tough economy, and insecurity don't show say government no really they do what they supposed to do. Oga Presido never talk anything for this matter, but people for the ruling party don't reject the call. They say now politics now be all these ones, and they ask Nigeria people may they remain patient. Say government go continue they do what go make Nigeria better. For Obodo Ibo, this one a matter will concern Nigeria people. Former Petroleum Minister Diezani Alison Madueke don't win her court case for London. Jury for Southwark Crown Court don't clear her from all 6 bribery and corruption charges after they used 46 hours do talk. Prosecutors been accused her say she collect expensive gifts and property to take exchange for oil contract. But her lawyers argue say she no get direct power over the approval. And the court finally talk say she no dey guilty. This judgment don't end the investigation where UK lawyers don't they do for over 10 years now. And for World News, global business markets don't they rise where after United States and Iran announced their new peace agreement under the Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, where both countries don't sign. They don't agree to stop military operations immediately. The agreement also opened way for the U.S. naval blockade to end and for ships to pass through the Strait of Hormuz again. Because of this announcement, oil prices don't stand one place, and stock markets around the world don't rise as investors they show fresh confidence for regional peace and global trade. Our story today in a sharp money don't end for here be that. We go see you again tomorrow. Make una use the time where remain take do better thing. My name na Sidika Yusuf.
Sidikat right there with another version of our news. And this brings us to the end of S24 Rundown. Do join us tomorrow, same time, as you follow us on all our social media platforms at S24 Television. My name is Hadi.